Hi everyone. Today we went out to the local Value Village, which is our local secondhand store, and we scored a few things to be used in Pathfinder. I'm going to show you those now, starting with the first batch of things from least useful to most useful. The first thing in the grab bag was this little crystal panda bear looking thing with a broken ear, which I haven't a clue what we could use that one for. The second item in the bag was this little heart-shaped dish. Maybe you could use that for a mold of some kind, but I don't do any molding, so I don't know how I could use that. The next thing is a little figure of a bear holding a book. I have nieces and nephews, so I guess I could give that to them. So it could be somewhat useful, but not for crafting. And then we have the little Japanese I'm not sure what they call them, but the little Japanese kitty cat character. Um, at some point, I'm sure I could use that in a setting in Japanese. It's kind of today, so it doesn't quite fit with the medieval setting Pathfinder and Dungeons and Dragons use, but maybe. The next thing we have is something that kind of looks like a flower that might have been a candle holder or something at one point. I'm thinking I could use that for a base of some kind to hold a figure or a just some kind of general base. Um, Next, we have a little glass frog. We could use that for an idol of some sort. I'm sure we could find a frog worshipping cult. Next, we have a little metal raccoon. To paint this up, it could possibly be a familiar that someone used, or it could be an actual raccoon in the game. Next, we have a metal frog. I'm going to paint it up. It could be either a giant frog in the game or a statue. To give you an idea of perspective, here is a Pathfinder character next to it. So obviously it wouldn't be someone's pet or um, a companion of any sort. So it would either be a enemy or a statue. And the last thing, and probably the neatest one that I thought of the whole day, was we found in the bag, and this is why I bought the bag. I found this um, unicorn, metal unicorns. Metal unicorns are really expensive if you buy the miniatures. I have a Dremel set, so I'm sure with my cutting blade I can cut the hooves off at an angle, and the where the crystal is, cut that off and mount the unicorn at a um, in a rearing pose like this, and it would come out quite nicely, I think. I wouldn't mount it in a standard running pose because of the way the front hooves are, are arranged, but I think if I mount it rearing, I can make that work with the way the back hooves are. Um, if you have any ideas, please just leave a comment on how you might do that. But again, I thought it was really neat to find this solid metal unicorn in the grab bag. Again, I bought it solely because of that. You see on the bottom, it was cast in 1986, I think. That's what that says. My shakiness. And it says $5 on the bottom. This whole grab bag cost me a grand total of $6.96, 99 cents. So I figure I didn't see this price obviously in the grab bag, but I figured that the price of a metal unicorn alone, if I bought it from one of the companies, would have been far greater than the $6.99 the grab bag was. The next grab bag that I bought contained 4 HeroClix figures, and the first one you see was obviously the Hulk. I'm sure everybody can think of what we could do with a Hulk figure in Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons. Um, Next one is Iron Man. When I see Iron Man, I immediately think water or air elemental, and I think I'm going to turn him probably into a water elemental or a water genie or some kind of genie or an elemental, especially with that when you cut off the base there. The next one I have is Gamora, but I found this interesting. Never seen Gamora with a rapier type weapon. So I thought it was really neat to find the HeroClix figure with with the sword or rapier of Gamora. So once she gets repainted, I think she'll come out really good. And then last but not least on the HeroClix was Thor. Ready made with a hammer, and don't have to do much. Cut him off, put him on a different base, and away we go. And then the last item that I got at the store was what I thought at first was going to be the least useful. It was a box, 101 safari animals. It is a Walmart set. It says on the packaging here Walmart. I'm not sure exactly where it was, and you can see on the bottom it cost me $6.99. Oh, by the way, the HeroClix figures cost me $9.99, so it might have been a little expensive side, but I thought they were worth it being in Alaska. But you can see this cost me $6.99. Now, I wasn't sure that would be worth it, to be honest. But I'm gonna pan out here. This is what we got in the system, in that box. All of these figures, and this greenery. Now, obviously, these two-dimensional plants are pretty much garbage. Now the rocks, sure, I can use the rocks in figuring. As you can see, I'm using DM Scotty's and DMG's dungeon system. We got some fencing that came with it. Also it came with some three-dimensional trees, and once these get painted up and get some dry brushing on them, I think they're going to come out really, really neat looking. I don't think they're going to be coming out real bad at all. Now, obviously, some of these are going to be out of scale, particularly when you look at the big cats. Here, I'll put the figure back up against it. Not to scale at all. It's an awful big cat. Even if you did a dire lion, I think that would be a little bit much. But if you take, for instance, in the back here, I'm sure these are supposed to be bear cubs, but if you put the figure next to it, that would be, if you were fighting a bear, that would be just about perfect. Also, if you come over here where you have the antlered figures and the donkey figures were supposed to be zebra figures, I'm sure, at some point. And you put that in there. They are the perfect size for the miniatures. So you have 4 possible elf riding pets or druid mounts, and you have 4 donkeys or maybe even horses. Again, I don't remember who the video was from, but donkeys are coppers, horses are 75 gold. Which one are you going to pick to ride? You figure it out. the thing that gets me about this one is hilarious. Is these are um, the supposed kangaroos. The kangaroos are taller than a man, and the baby kangaroos are down here in the front. I think the baby kangaroos probably come out closer. Um, the, the crocodiles and the alligators do come out pretty much exactly to scale, though, too. Um, and again, the lions and things, unless you're using dire lions and dire bears, probably going to be a little large, but you might be even able to make that work. So those are my scores at the craft store today. Just shows what you can find even in the middle of Alaska. So hope this inspires you. If you can think of any advice you can give me on making things work, please leave a comment. And thanks for watching.